Love is a complicated emotion. Sometimes, the deepest feelings remain unspoken. Not every man finds it easy to express his emotions, especially when it comes to love. Whether it's due to fear of rejection, uncertainty about how you feel, or simply not knowing how to put his emotions into words, a man in love may choose to hide his true feelings rather than confess them outright. However, no matter how hard he tries to keep it a secret, love has a way of showing itself through actions, expressions, and small subconscious behaviors. If you've ever felt like a guy has special feelings for you but refuses to say it, chances are you're right. Men often communicate through their actions rather than words, and when a man is in love but too scared to admit it, his behavior will give him away. From the way he looks at you when you're not watching to the little things he remembers about you, there are subtle signs that reveal his heart's true intentions. One of the biggest indicators is how he prioritizes your happiness over his own. He may go out of his way to do things for you, offer support when you least expect it, or listen to you more intently than anyone else. Even if he tries to act cool or distant at times, his emotions slip through in the way he treats you. You might notice him getting nervous around you, stumbling over his words, or flashing an uncontrollable smile whenever you're together. These are all signs that his feelings run deeper than he's willing to admit. Another major giveaway is his reaction to other people in your life, especially potential romantic interests. If he gets jealous but tries to hide it, changes the subject when you mention another guy, or subtly finds ways to shift your attention back to him, it's a clear sign that he sees you as more than just a friend. His attempts to suppress his feelings only make them more obvious. Even when he tries to distance himself, his emotions pull him back. He will find excuses to be around you, whether it's joining activities you're involved in, frequently running into you, or engaging with you more than others online. His presence is never random, it's intentional, even if he pretends otherwise. The truth is, love can be scary, especially when the fear of rejection or losing a valued connection is involved. However, while he may struggle to put his emotions into words, his actions will always tell the real story. If you've been wondering whether a certain man in your life secretly has feelings for you, paying attention to these signs can help you uncover the truth. In this guide, we will explore 12 clear signs that a man is madly in love with you, but too afraid to say it. By the end, you may have all the confirmation you need, whether he ever says the words or not. 1. He steals glances at you when you're not looking. When someone is madly in love but too scared to express it, they often steal glances at the person they adore. These stolen glances are not just random looks. They are filled with emotions, curiosity, and admiration. He watches you when he thinks you are not paying attention, observing your expressions, the way you talk, and even the smallest things you do. It's as if he's trying to memorize every little detail about you without being obvious. He may quickly look away the moment your eyes meet his, pretending to be busy or distracted. This is a clear sign that he doesn't want to get caught staring because it would reveal his true feelings. He might act indifferent or casual when you're around, but his eyes tell a different story. They follow you in a crowded room, linger on your face a little longer than necessary, and light up when you smile. Even in group settings, he unconsciously finds ways to look at you. If you're talking to someone else, he might observe your reactions and body language, wondering what you're thinking or feeling. If he admires you from afar, it's because he is too afraid of rejection or unsure if you feel the same way. This behavior often goes unnoticed unless you start paying attention. If you catch him looking at you multiple times, it's a sign that he has deep feelings but lacks the courage to say it aloud. His eyes become his silent confession, revealing emotions he can't put into words. 2. He remembers small details about you. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to express it, he pays close attention to the little things about you. Even things you might not remember saying, he does. This is because to him, everything about you matters. Whether it's your favorite coffee order, the way you like your books arranged, or a random childhood story you mentioned once, he stores these details in his mind. You might casually say that you love a particular song, and the next time it plays, he smiles or brings it up in conversation. If you once mentioned being allergic to something, he will make sure to avoid it when planning anything around you. If you're having a bad day, he somehow knows exactly how to cheer you up, maybe by reminding you of something that makes you laugh or bringing you your favorite snack. This attention to detail is not just a habit, it's a reflection of his feelings. Most people forget small things unless they genuinely care, and for him, remembering these things is his way of showing love without directly saying it. Even in group conversations, he picks up on things you say, recalling them later when you least expect it. His ability to remember things about you proves that you occupy a special place in his heart. He may not say, "I love you" out loud, but his actions do. Even if he's too scared to confess, his memory of your likes, dislikes, and little quirks speaks volumes about his hidden affection. 3. He gets nervous around you. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to express it, his body language and behavior around you often give him away. One of the biggest signs is how nervous he gets when you're near. No matter how confident he may seem around others, when it comes to you, his nerves betray him. He might fidget with his hands, play with his phone, or adjust his clothes when you walk into the room. His voice may change slightly, either becoming softer, shakier, or even unnaturally deep as he tries to compose himself. If you ask him a simple question, he might stumble over his words, or take a second longer to respond because he's overthinking his answer, not wanting to say something foolish. Another clear sign is how he reacts physically. He may blush, avoid direct eye contact, or even laugh nervously at things that aren't that funny. His hands might tremble slightly when handing you something, or he may suddenly become overly aware of his movements, leading to awkward gestures. His nervousness isn't because he's uncomfortable, it's because he cares too much about how you see him. He wants to make the right impression, and the fear of saying or doing the wrong thing makes him second-guess himself. If you notice that he's confident around others, but fumbles in front of you, it's a strong indication that his feelings run deep. His heart races when you're near, and his nervousness is simply his emotions trying to hide what he's too scared to say out loud. He tries to impress you subtly. When a man is secretly in love but afraid to express it, he will often try to impress you in subtle ways. He won't make it too obvious, but his efforts will be noticeable if you pay close attention. He wants you to see him in a positive light, so he does little things to stand out without making it seem like he's trying too hard. One way he does this is by highlighting his strengths when you're around. If he's good at something, whether it's sports, music, or even his work, he'll find ways to showcase his skills when you're nearby. He might casually mention an achievement in conversation or take on a leadership role in group settings, hoping you'll notice. His appearance also becomes a priority when you're around. He may start dressing better, fixing his hair differently, or wearing a scent he knows you like. If you compliment something about him, you might notice he starts doing it more often, just to keep your attention. Another way he subtly tries to impress you is through his kindness and reliability. He'll offer help before you even ask, remembering things that matter to you and going out of his way to make your life easier. If you mention needing something, he might find a way to provide it without making a big deal out of it. Though he may not directly express his love, his actions speak volumes. Every little effort he makes is his way of showing you that you're special to him, even if he's too scared to say it outright. 5. He prioritizes your happiness over his own. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, he often puts your happiness above his own, sometimes without even realizing it. His feelings for you make your joy more important to him than his own needs or comfort. Even if he doesn't openly express his love, his selfless actions reveal the depth of his emotions. He will go out of his way to make sure you're happy, even if it means sacrificing his own plans. If you need help with something, he'll drop what he's doing to be there for you, no matter how inconvenient it is for him. If you're feeling down, he'll do whatever it takes to cheer you up, whether it's sending you a funny message playing your favorite song, or simply listening to you vent. He also makes decisions with your feelings in mind. If you're in a group setting, he'll choose places or activities he knows you enjoy. Even in small ways, he ensures your comfort, offering you his jacket when you're cold, letting you have the last slice of pizza, or giving up his seat so you can be more comfortable. Sometimes he might even hide his own feelings or pretend he's fine, just so you don't worry about him. His love is expressed through quiet gestures rather than words. Even if he's too scared to confess, his actions constantly show that your happiness means everything to him. 6. He listens to you more than anyone else. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to express it, one of the biggest signs is how attentively he listens to you. Unlike others who may just hear your words, he truly listens, remembering details, understanding your emotions, and making you feel valued. He gives you his full attention when you speak, making eye contact and nodding along, showing that he genuinely cares about what you have to say. Even in a crowded room, he tunes out everything else just to focus on you. He never interrupts or rushes you. Instead, he encourages you to share your thoughts, feelings, and stories. What makes this different from casual listening is that he remembers even the smallest details. You might casually mention your favorite dessert, a place you've always wanted to visit, or a challenge you're facing, and days or weeks later, he brings it up. If you tell him about a tough day, he follows up later to check on you, showing that your words truly matter to him. He also responds in ways that show he's paying attention. If you express a concern, he offers thoughtful advice or simply reassures you. If you mention something you love, he finds a way to incorporate it into conversations, or even surprise you with it. His ability to recall your likes, dislikes, and emotions proves that he values you deeply. Even if he never directly says, "I love you," the way he listens to you more than anyone else is a silent confession of his true feelings. 7. He acts distant, sometimes to hide his feelings. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, he may sometimes act distant to hide his feelings. This can be confusing, especially if he's usually attentive and caring. His sudden change in behavior isn't because he has lost interest. It's actually the opposite. He feels so much for you that he doesn't know how to handle it, so he pulls away to protect himself. One moment, he may be warm, engaged, and making you feel special. The next, he might act cold, avoid eye contact, or even seem uninterested in conversations. This emotional distance often happens when his feelings become overwhelming and he worries about revealing too much. He might fear rejection, uncertainty about your feelings, or simply not knowing how to navigate his emotions. In group settings, he may avoid standing too close to you or engaging in deep conversations like he usually does. If you message him, he might take longer to reply, not because he doesn't care, but because he's overthinking his response. He may even try to convince himself that distancing himself will help him get over you, though his actions always contradict this. However, his true emotions will still slip through. Even when he's acting distant, he'll steal glances at you, react subtly to your words, or find small ways to check on you. His behavior is a mix of wanting to be close to you, but fearing the consequences of admitting how deeply he feels. If you notice this hot and cold behavior, know that his distance is not a lack of interest. It's a battle between his heart and his fear of expressing what's truly inside. 8. He supports you, even without you asking. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, one of the biggest signs is his unwavering support, even when you don't ask for it. He is always there for you, offering encouragement, help, and reassurance, not because he has to, but because he genuinely cares about your happiness and success. He notices when you're struggling or feeling down, even if you don't say anything. Whether it's a stressful day at work, an important event, or a personal challenge, he finds ways to be there for you. He might send you a motivational message, offer to help with something, or simply listen without judgment. His presence is constant, and he never hesitates to step in when you need him most. Even in small ways, he makes your life easier. If he knows you're tired, he might bring you coffee. If you mention a goal, he'll remember and ask about your progress. If you need something, he'll offer before you even think to request it. His support is subtle, yet powerful, and he expects nothing in return. Unlike others who only show up when it's convenient, he is there through everything. Your highs and lows, triumphs and failures. Even if he never confesses his feelings, his actions make it clear. He wants to see you succeed, be happy, and feel cared for. His love isn't in words, it's in the way he stands by your side, no matter what. 9. He gets jealous, but tries to hide it. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, jealousy is one of the strongest yet most hidden signs. Even though he tries his best to mask it, his emotions slip through when he sees you with someone else. He doesn't want to seem possessive or obvious, so he suppresses his feelings, but his reactions tell a different story. If you talk about another guy, he may suddenly go quiet or change the subject. His mood might shift slightly. He may laugh it off, but his eyes or body language reveal discomfort. Sometimes he might act indifferent, pretending it doesn't bother him. But if you look closely, you'll notice the subtle tension in his expressions. When you're interacting with someone else, he may unconsciously keep an eye on the situation. Even if he's engaged in another conversation, he's aware of what's happening. He might interrupt casually, make a joke, or find an excuse to join in, just to shift your attention back to him. Sometimes his jealousy makes him act differently toward you. He may pull away for a while, become unusually sarcastic, or tease you in a way that hints at his hidden feelings. He won't openly admit that he's bothered, but his sudden mood swings when another guy is involved speak louder than words. Even though he tries to play it cool, his jealousy is a clear sign that he cares deeply. His fear of losing you to someone else fuels this reaction, and no matter how hard he tries to hide it, his emotions always find a way to show. 10. He smiles uncontrollably when talking to you. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, his emotions often show through his smile. No matter how much he tries to control it, he can't help but light up when he talks to you. It's an automatic reaction. His happiness comes from simply being around you. His smile is different when he's with you. It's not just a polite or forced expression. It's genuine, warm, and sometimes even shy. His eyes soften, his face brightens, and there's a certain glow that only appears when he's talking to you. Even if the conversation is casual, his excitement is clear. You might catch him smiling even when you're not looking directly at him. If you say something funny, he laughs wholeheartedly. If you share a story, he listens with a smile that shows he's fully engaged. Even when he's quiet, his expression gives away how much he enjoys being around you. Sometimes he may try to hide it, biting his lip or looking away to avoid making it too obvious. But no matter how hard he tries, his emotions slip through. Even if he's feeling stressed or tired, your presence instantly lifts his mood. His uncontrollable smile is a silent confession of how much he adores you. He may not say the words out loud, but his face tells you everything. Being with you makes him truly happy. 11. He finds excuses to be around you. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, he will always find excuses to be around you. Even if there's no real reason, he'll create one just to spend time with you. His presence isn't a coincidence. It's intentional, even if he tries to make it seem casual. He might suddenly develop an interest in things you like, whether it's a hobby, a TV show, or a place you frequent. If you're part of a group, he'll somehow end up sitting next to you or joining conversations you're in. If you need help with something, he'll be the first to volunteer, even if it's something he wouldn't normally do. You may notice that he frequently runs into you at places you visit often. Maybe he suddenly starts showing up at your favorite coffee shop or gym, acting like it's just a coincidence. At work or school, he finds small ways to cross paths with you, walking by your desk, taking the same route, or timing his schedule to align with yours. Even online, He engages with you more than others. He replies to your stories, likes your posts, or finds excuses to message you about random things. His texts may seem casual, but the fact that he keeps reaching out is a sign that he just wants to stay connected. No matter how subtle his efforts are, the pattern is clear. He wants to be near you. His heart pulls him in your direction, and even though he's scared to confess, his actions reveal the truth. 12. He gets tongue-tied. When expressing his feelings. When a man is secretly in love but too scared to admit it, expressing his feelings becomes a real challenge. No matter how confident he may be in other situations, when it comes to talking about emotions, especially his feelings for you, he struggles to find the right words. He might start a sentence, then pause or change the topic altogether. His usual smooth way of speaking may suddenly turn into awkward stuttering or unfinished thoughts. If you ask him direct questions about love or relationships, he might get flustered, avoid eye contact, or laugh nervously to cover up his discomfort. Sometimes, he might try to hint at his feelings indirectly, but before he can say too much, he pulls back. He might say something meaningful, only to quickly follow it with a joke or a casual remark to downplay it. His fear of rejection or uncertainty about your feelings makes him hesitant, even when his heart wants to speak. In moments when he wants to express something deep, his body language gives him away. He may fidget, play with his hands, or look down as if searching for the right words. Even if he never directly says, "I love you," the struggle in his voice and the hesitation in his words show that his emotions are overwhelming him. His difficulty in expressing himself isn't because he doesn't care, it's because he cares too much. His tongue-tied moments are proof that his feelings for you are real, even if he's not quite ready to say them out loud.